All right, welcome to another horror talk, and I already see a guy in the chat. He must be talking about. I put in the chat that I actually did a solo show earlier on my other channel, and Crunchy B wrote, "Oh man, why doesn't that make me feel like a loser?" So I don't know. He just subbed. I don't know if he's talking about the show I did on another channel, because if anybody cares, if nobody cares for it, no big deal. But I did a total breakdown, Bob, earlier on the last Starfighter. But I broke it down to how this is really a documentary on how life is really like. Because I'm not going to do it here because we're doing another movie, but anybody watches it will see what I'm talking about, where like he goes to space, but technically if you bring that down to Earth, he was recruited by a recruiter to join the military because society will not allow him to have funds to go to college. So I did like a total, like a kind of a life breakdown. So if anybody cares about that.
It saves the universe.
Oh, he goes about the first. Okay, he did not. He did. he was not talking about I made him feel like a loser, because whoever watched the other show, I was talking about how it's almost like the rich want us to stay losers because they don't want us to go to college. But but beyond that, Pat Riot's here, awesome guy. So today we're talking about The Mist, and it was kind of a cool watch to do again because I've only watched it once before. So there was a lot. I mean, the plot's not hard. It's mostly in a store surrounded by kind of like the movie The Fog, where the thing's in it. There's things on why it happened, what kind of happened. But it's another kind of a movie that I guess you could say there's a lot of relations to it in real life from it, because in the basic terms, guy has a kid. He went to the grocery store because they had a hurricane storm. They took the neighbor, him and the neighbor, they're kind of like, they're not like friends, but look like they're about to become friends. And while they went in the store is when the shit hits the fan, basically, when the fog came in, or the mist. They call it the mist. The mist. What is it? Is it? Oh, mist. Yeah, the mist, whatever it is, and then the theory is the shit that's in it. But before we go further, I got the trailer here. So if anybody that has not seen the movie, here's the trailer, and it's free on YouTube. You can actually watch it on YouTube. Now, I actually found it on an independent film channel through the YouTube TV, where I actually got a pretty good quality version of it last night. But here we go, and I want to say our good friend Shitcon Nas here, Jonathan Hobbs is here. So guys, I'm just gonna show you the trailer to give you an idea if you have not seen the movie. So to kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. So here we go.
Yes.
Whoa. Mom, Dad, you gotta come see. The photo's so fast. Just gotta... Come on. Whoa.
Having spoken, the doomsayer departs.
Why don't you get Billy dress? I'll take him into town with me. The store, or it gets all bought out.
How do you folks hold up in the storm?
Big insurance day.
Sorry to hear that.
What's going on?
Yes.
Something in the mist! Shut the doors! Shut the doors! The only way we're going to help ourselves is to seek rescue.
Chad's been waste. Before, let us know you got at least 300.
There's nothing to pay. Nothing to waste. If you're wrong, yes. That's open for me.
It is time to take sides. Read the good book. It calls for blood.
Guys, I hear something. Those bugs?
Not like any I've ever seen. The entire front of the store is plate glass.
What are you guys messing with up there? I thought there were other dimensions. They wanted to try and make a window.
Well, maybe your window turned out to be a door.
She's gonna sacrifice to make it all better.
We want the boy.
Right.
Myth.
Now, just for the record, just so people know in the chat that I never read the book, so I can't break this down what it says from the book. You know, I just take it from the movie. You know, Stephen King writes fucking thick ass book, and to make one of his books into a movie, you really leave out a lot. So I don't know the whole theory behind, you know, the other dimension that they open up to let in until somehow they closed it down. Maybe in the book explained it. I don't know. I don't know. All thing I can say is the special effects were good. The blood's good. It's not a movie that I'm going to see. I'm going to watch like every year. But, you know, I haven't seen it in a long time. It wasn't too bad. And actually, let me share the screen of the voting just to see if what people have, you know, what they saw of it. Okay, now so far, there's where is it? Okay, have you seen the movie Stephen King, The Mist? Very basic question. I liked the movie. 39% liked it. 7% hate the movie. 14% never seen the movie, and 39% says it's average. And for me, when I voted for this, it was an average movie for me. It wasn't like it blew me away, you know. But break it down. I think it's funner to break down the movie than actually really talk about the horror of it, because if this movie really represented some mental ill people, and what I mean by that, if you're mental ill, it seems like hopefully nobody in the chat like goes after me for saying this, but if you're mental ill or you're slightly mental ill, it seems like religion is the one thing that's so easy to mental you're ill into. All right, because there's a woman in there you saw in the trailer where she was surely mental ill, and everything she was seeing was she was blaming it like Armageddon, like super religious. And what I did like, I'll let you break it down through me for a second. When they got together, when they were having this conversation. There was one conversation in the movie that I agreed with, and I liked this conversation when they're saying like, look at her, she's over there preaching. And they're like, you know, when more bad shit happens, they're going to follow her more. When more shit happens, she's going to get through these other people because they show like one guy who saw fear so badly, he kind of broke down and he was buying into this person's shit. And that's how in the real world, how these people like in Waco or psychology, they feed on other people that might have slight mental illness to say, come over here because look what's going on. You can say not all conspiracy. You can say there's a percentage of conspiracy is almost the same thing where a mental ill person is taking something and anything that happens, look, see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? And then that's how a cult kind of grows. So within this movie, even though they were trapped in a store, a cult right in front of their eyes was being created.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
You nailed it. I think you nailed it, man. So, Yeah, dude. Don't mind me, guys. I mean, it's 9:00 at night in England, so I eat my dinner on camera sometimes. I was out late, but yeah, Eric, you said it 100%. Is a time of trauma. So anyway, like Eric said, it was a normal fucking town. I think it was in Washington, whatever. A big hurricane storm, something.
It actually was. At first, I thought because I saw the sign Portland. Yeah. But it was the Portland that's on East Coast in New Hampshire.
Oh, East Coast. Okay, I thought it was like West Coast. I don't even know.
Because I saw I saw the state and it wasn't Oregon.
Okay. So East Coast, seaside town. Storm comes in. After the storm comes in, they go pick up supplies. Everybody in the whole town, it's a small town, goes to the same store and they're stocking up for emergency rations. So everybody and their mom everybody's in this fucking store from the town. Everybody, the preacher, the nutty person, the mechanic, every what they call archetype.
Military.
The military was there. Some guys on leave were in there. All the archetypes, we call it, right? So all the different. I'm the leader. I'm the follower. I'm the this. I'm the preacher. Every fucking archetype is in this one ass store, like Eric said. And all of a sudden, the mist shows up, and you've got this chaos outside the store. There's something out there. They don't really let you know until like only certain parts of the movie you get to see any monsters. Now I'm giving it a little bit lower score than Eric. I was just like, what the fuck? Now I felt like I was watching The Walking Dead, which I really love, by the way.
Two actors, two people in this movie are dead. The first guy who ran to the store, and that girl Carol had a scene in the store.
Yeah, Carol was in. Others like I think it was 3 different parts of The Walking Dead people that were in there, and they played the same roles. Now I'm watching the movie, going, "That's Carol. Carol's with the shaved head."
Like it's owned by, I think AMC is part of the company that owned that production of it. So I think that's why they were in The Walking Dead, because it's owned by AMC.
So right? So they were in the movie and they were literally playing the same part. I was waiting for zombies. I was like, this is The Walking Dead. So I'm literally waiting for the zombies. But because I'm a big Walking Dead fan, this movie didn't happen for me because there were no zombies. Now, outside there was these large-ass insectoid monsters that somehow was pulled in from another dimension at the army on the base. In the movie, they rumored to be playing around with all kinds of weird shit. So somehow they caused the storm because they opened up another reality dimension. These things came through the dimension, and now, but you find this out during the show, like during the conversation. And like Eric said, there was a crazy lady. Everybody has their role to play, the leader, she was the crazy religious lady. Now she's going into Revelation. Now she says Revelations with an S. Revelations. And she's quoting Revelations with the locusts coming in because there was large insectoid bugs on the glass. So she's going, it's Revelations are happening and all of you have caused it. You have brought this upon us. And she's going nuts in the store. So pretty soon when people are dying for trying to leave the store, now she's like into the thing where, you see, those of you that are evil will be dying. And those of us that are righteous with God and holding her Bible up will be saved. Now, she's doing nothing but stirring up everybody into a fucking frenzy of hate. So next thing you know, she's creating a separation between those of us with the book and those of you that are trying to logically figure this shit out. Now, there was no winner in this movie, so I can't bash her and I can't bash the people who bashed her. She got shot. So anyway, because homie, I don't know, Eric, you give away the ending. This is your show. That was fucked up on the ending part. I'm like, what the fuck?
I didn't read the book, but there is no happy ending.
No happy ending.
They shot the old couple. He shot the old couples and he shot the kid. And of course, he ran out of bullets to shoot himself. So, and then because he heard the noise, and when you looked outside, the noise was actually the military.
What a fucking
it was not good. Now, you were talking about like the crazy lady, and one of the things that even regular people don't realize in real life, where they thought they had the idea that the military is the one who opened this up. Now, technically, it's not the military; it's the people that work for the military, scientists, and higher ups. And then there was a regular 3 soldiers that was in the store, and this crazy woman
On
got
Liberty.
her coat and basically eliminated this guy by forcing him outside. Now, if anybody knows about the military, when you're a grunt, grunts don't know shit.
No shit.
What they do if they're opening up some big fourth dimensional, MPs don't know. They don't tell everybody. So it's like they really sent him out to die because they are saying that he knows stuff and he wouldn't tell them because
you don't know it.
You don't, unless you're a captain, you're a general, you're somebody high up. Regular soldiers don't know shit.
Yeah. So what Eric's not telling you guys is to kind of get you with the show is in the store. So there's 3 military guys on leave. They're in the store, trapped in the store. There's the mist outside, the monsters outside. They're trapped inside. They're all the religious lady's going fucking thump, 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 and she's blaming everybody, and she's blaming the military. And they grab one of the soldiers he was just on liberty or on leave, they call it in the army. They held him down and basically beat the fuck out of him, forced him to tell us what's going on. She's screaming, you, almost like Outlander, like Eric, reminds me of Children of the Corn. Outlander, you tell us what's going on. And he finally says, I heard there's something about a dimension, but I don't know anything about it other than they opened a dimension door. And so angry at him to punish him, the lady, the thumping lady, the Bible lady, orders him outside, orders him to go out, pushes him out into the mist. Of course, he's eaten by the great fucking monster, the bug monster. But they were just like killing people indiscriminately within the store. So fuck the monsters, Eric. The monsters were inside. The people were the monsters. So this whole movie's about the people.
Yes.
In the store. They were the monsters.
That's how you had to watch this movie in that kind of an eye, because it's not a great movie, like I was saying.
No.
Like you said, it's about how a cult gets started. And then, because first of all, if you want to survive, the last thing you want to do to survive is kick out a soldier who who looked like he just came out of boot camp. That's really fit. Okay, you're going to take your best weapon and throw him outside. Like really, yeah, okay. But that's what crazy people are. Because when you're crazy, when you're nuts, if you have some mental illness, your weakness is the strong people around you. So you got to get other people to be convinced along with you to show them. Now, what I don't understand is when they're having a conversation about when they went in the back of the store and they first open up the back door.
Oh, the back door. After the guy says, "Don't do it."
Don't do it. But when he cut that one piece off, he should have taken that one piece right away and took it to the front of the store and look, people, this is what's outside.
Yeah.
Because nobody believes
stupid.
And they're like, well, come follow us. Now, listen, if I think there's some strange shit and some guy ran to the store, the guy from The Walking Dead, saying there's something out there, if they tell me to go in the back of the store because they want to show me something, what the fuck do you got to lose?
Yeah.
He
was in the back of the store. They're trying to work on a generator. It's just like the zombie attack movie, guys. So the monsters are trapped on the outside. They're all trapped on the inside like zombies. One guy says he could hear bashing on the back of the emergency the warehouse back door. It's a metal one that like your garage door that closes down. He says, "Do not open that door because there are monsters out there. Do not open that door." Of course, he's being a leader, but instinctively, not just being a forcible. He's being a natural leader. Of course, they don't like that. The other guys are alpha. We don't like this fucking guy. Who the fuck do you think he is telling us what to do? We're going to open that door.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got a young stud. Yeah, I'll go out. And he's like, don't do it. Don't open that fucking door. Oh, Eric, yeah. Always the other tough guys. They're always the ones that want to be in charge. You always got the other alphas. Like, shut the fuck up and just listen to logic. They open the door. These long tentacles come inside from this insectoid large monster like a octopus arms and grabs that kid, pulls him and rips him apart, almost tears everybody else apart. They close the door. They take the protagonist, the main hero, the guy that's in like the leader, takes an axe and chops off a big piece of tentacle, and they leave it on the ground, like you said, Eric. Then they go in the front. We don't want to scare nobody, but nobody's going outside. There's some monsters out there.
They're not going to believe it.
But you could have just held up the tentacle and proved it, but nobody believed them, Eric. Right? Nobody believed.
I did like the main guy in the back when he said, when the other guy goes, well, that young kid chose to be back here. And he's like, these young kids are stupid. They don't know better, which is true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah.
So he did say some cool. Yeah. And then.
Well, there was racism. Well, his neighbor, he has a black neighbor that the main protagonist went to the store with him and his son to get supplies after the storm in the store. He takes his neighbor. He is African American. Nothing against African Americans, but when he was trying to tell him, because his friend that wasn't his friend, is his neighbor, wanted to leave. He says, "I can't have you leave, man. You can't leave. There's something out there. I just witnessed it." And then the first thing that guy did was start screaming, "This is harassment. He's playing the black card." And the guy's like, "I have nothing against you. There's nothing to do. I'm telling you, don't go out that door." And he's thinking that, in his defense, he's been this poor guy. You could tell the guy has been persecuted his whole life. He's been racist people around his whole life, so he don't trust nobody, especially in a hick town. So in his defense, yeah, he didn't trust him. But Eric, like you said, all he had to do was bring that piece of tentacle and say, "Look, dude, there's nothing to do with me being a pushy white guy on you. There's a monster outside."
Dogs, yeah. Like, why?
But that was the show, though. It had to have that. It had this person and this person. Anything and everything you guys would see in a group put together. And everybody wants to be the boss. You always have somebody that wants to be the follower. Then you have someone, the religious person. Everybody's wants to be something, but. Yeah, but everybody's an idiot.
Instead of bringing it to them, they're trying to bring everybody in the back.
Yeah. Now, so,
What I got disappointed was they had to go to the next store over. It's a drugstore. They needed some medication for one person.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to sacrifice 3-4 people for one person, which, okay, whatever. And when they went over to next door, and when you kind of saw the creatures up close for the first time, then they're just basically another type of spiders, or like flies. It's just like like open up the dimension. It's like they open up another timeline, where in this timeline, these creatures, these spiders, are the dominant.
They're the dominant, yeah.
It brings it in. If they're gonna do it, they should have made it where they're more alien-like. They open up a dimension, wormhole to another planet or something, because I can see where that one movie I can't remember that there's a movie that came out like 10 years ago. It's like a found footage movie of like the big creatures outside.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name. Oh God, yeah, they're filming it with a camera, and there's that large ass alien monster or Cthulhu-looking monster out there just tearing shit up. Yeah, they had it all running around on camera and breathing into the camera, and yeah, I can't remember that movie. It's been so long. I didn't like it. That's probably why. I mean, it was okay. A lot of people liked it. I'm not gonna put it down. I wasn't a fan. It's like this. It's like I gotta have a little more texture, but it's felt real. It was more like that. Some Blair Witch projects, like the Blair Witch Project with the camera. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it drives me crazy when you know it. Oh,
somebody in the sidebar will know. Somebody will know that.
Cloverfield.
Thank you, Pat Riot.
I can see where Cloverfield, like, hey, that creature, we could kind of do what they did in the movie The Mist, because there's parts of The Mist where they're driving a car, you saw that over big, large, where you didn't really get to see it up close, kind of like Cloverfield, where you saw this big thing in the background, and you see it felt almost like that. But of course, this came out first.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people copied bits of this. It's a cheap made movie. It wasn't well done with There was no CGI. It was a computer. I was joking about. I was like, this is like Sharknado technology. This is where like Sharknado with the computer graphic version of a monster where it's not really like clear. But they did have some latex good special effects on face to face, but a lot of that bad CGI computerized shit.
Mist came out. I'm curious about something.
Yeah, look up.
But when did the book for the
I bet you the movie was. I think the movie was made for the Sci-Fi Channel. I don't think it was at the movie theater. I don't think it was at the theater, was it? No way it was at the theater. I can't see it at the theater.
God, I typed in when was the book, and of course it just goes straight to the movie. I'm just curious, when did that book come out?
Yeah, you have to put in his name and then the name of the
1980. Oh, 1985.
So he wrote the book in 85.
And the reason I'm bringing that up, the book, The Mist. No, right here, he wrote the book, The Mist.
1980.
Well,
he wasn't ready.
Because in 1980 is when the movie, John Carpenter's movie The Fog, came out.
Okay.
So I was just, now if this book came out in 1980, I'm sure he was working on this book the same time they're working on that movie. I was just curious if did one get the idea like, hey, that fog, that's a great idea, that when something comes in, that's where the creatures are.
You have any information on it? Now, when did it come out for real? When did it come out? Was it in the 90s, wasn't it?
But the movie, 2007.
Oh, it was 2007. Okay. Look, they dressed like the 90s. Okay. So 2000. Okay, makes more sense.
And I never watched the series. In 2017, they actually made a series out of it. But I never watched the series.
They made a series out of that.
Yeah, I never watched it. So I can't tell you if that's good.
Well, okay. How would you make a series out of that?
Somebody wants
Is it like a Walking Dead?
Somebody wants to ask you what's an allegory? I missed that.
An allegory? Well, an allegory is the Bible. I don't know. No, it's a fanciful way. It's an allegory. It's a fanciful way. It's romanticized information. It's allegory. It's just fanciful.
Yeah, because like when she has the Bible, she was fantasizing, like trying to make it like this is real. This is what's going on.
This is the dragon is outside. The seven-headed dragon is outside. The locusts are. I mean, everything's allegory. It's story. It's a story. Some books are allegory. They're just stories that mean something. Though it has a meaning. Like some people say, like the pagan stories, the Eddas are allegory, where they have a message behind the stories. A lot of things are allegory. Most things in life are allegory. So allegory is, it's a fanciful way of saying a message. Again, some things are truthful, not to be mistaken with truthful. So if you got things that are truthful, again, I'm using the Bible in a bad way. There are things that are proven by facts. They are factual. I went to school for archaeology. There are some facts. And then there's some things that are allegory. Same thing with every story. The pantheons, the stories of Zeus and Dionysus, and allegory stories. Yeah.
Yeah. What did he write? Like the allegory of Plato's cave.
Plato's cave.
He goes outside the cave when his comrades will not. But it tells a bigger story or a lesson. You know what? And then let me tell you about
correct
how parts of this movie is related to nowadays. Because, like I said, you saw a cult get created because the shit that starts happening. If you break it down, it's fun breaking down movies. how do you break it down to nowadays? That's the fun part. If you
Yeah.
go to a lot of religion channels right now on YouTube, just go on YouTube. In your community, outside your community, with everything that's going on in this crazy world, I'm not gonna say too much of the word of the viruses, flus, and stuff. But if you go to a lot of religion channels, they are using that for themselves as a like an Armageddon. Like, see, stuff in the Bible is happening. And what's weird about this, and how I know the fakers and the real people, because some of these people contradict themselves, right? So on one end, I'm not gonna name channels. I will not name channels. But on one end, there's a channel that I know that says what's going on around us is a fraud. I'm not here to tell you it's not or not. It is or not. But they're saying the flu is a fraud. Okay, great. But then same group on this channel, because they're a religious channel too. What's going on around us is Armageddon. Well, I'm sitting here like, whoa. If it's a fraud, then there's no Armageddon with it. Because for it to be Armageddon, you have
to be real.
believe that what's happening here is going full blown. And
It has to be real. Yeah.
I mean, you can't say it's a fraud, then you're saying now it's an Armageddon. It can't exist. And like this movie, she was using what's going on the outside to prove that God is this. Before that mist came, she couldn't do that. It's more like faith. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a slippery slope both ways. I never get mad at anybody for it. I don't anymore, because it's a slippery slope either fucking way. So everybody has a free ticket nowadays. So in my book, everybody has a free ticket. I'm not mad at nobody for thinking anything anymore. Hell, you don't want to sit down with me what I think. I got all kinds of crazy ass stories. So everybody's good to go. But like Eric said, I know what you're saying.
You saw a cult created out of that.
Yes.
Because here in this world, real or not, a lot of cults are created from saying,
that's being created. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I stay away from it, because my show is about what we always wanted to be. So I don't want to create a cult out of something where, especially if you think it's fake. If you think it's fake, then you can't really create a cult on it, right?
Well, like the Gnostics, Eric. Like the Gnostics back in the day. Remember the Gnostics were all about Armageddon. This was thousands of years back, and they were screaming Armageddon. It's going to happen tomorrow. They've built entire religions. People committed suicide over it. It was like nothing happened, man. What was it? There was that religious group that went off, and there was NASA. We all believe NASA, and NASA said it was a huge asteroid on its way to Earth, and so all of a sudden, this asteroid's going to hit the Earth, and so and behind the asteroid, somebody says there's a spaceship.
Yeah, and we got to commit suicide so we can go with it.
Oh, it's worse than that, Eric. Before they committed suicide, they were going to catch the spaceship behind the magical asteroid that NASA had announced. Watch what you guys believe out there. Don't trust nobody. They castrated themselves, dude. So all the men castrated themselves.
Right there. Heaven's Gate. That's what they're called.
Heaven's Gate. Thank you. So those men castrated themselves before the fucking ship came, and then they committed suicide.
What our good friend Flatacor Music was saying, I think it's about the Trinity. They are creating, using the illusion of keeping us safe. You're right, and if you believe that, then you can't say there's an Armageddon, because you know what I mean. That's what he got. What I was saying, he got. I like.
Yeah.
Very. That's called the spirit of the staircase. How do we get here? When only think of the right thing to say. Oh, that's about something else. Here we go. They believe we're trapped in a material and forced to
reincarnate. You got to be careful, man, because you got your own thing. Everybody has their own thing. Don't follow nobody else's thing. When it comes down to the end of the day, my dad used to say, "What do you think?" Follow your own gut. Just don't listen to nobody else. Follow your own gut. So if you're trapped in a store and there's a mist outside and there's monsters out there, don't act a fool. Sit down and have a strategy. I would sit tight and have a couple of meals. If there's a whole beer section, I just get drunk. Wait for it to blow over. Don't listen to nobody. Don't do anything you don't know about.
And guys, the reason we're saying these little extra things because the movie doesn't really give you a whole lot. It's
all about that.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just basically they're trapped. You learn that there's a thing that opened up, and then they're gonna close it, and he kills 2 old people and his own kid, and then he found out that it's just the military getting rid of the door that they closed. Because I didn't read the book, I can't tell you anything. So the movie's simple.
Yeah, and the worst part was at the end because they had lost faith in whatever they had. They had nothing in them. I'm not saying what you were. I don't care what you worship, a lampshade, but they had lost whatever faith they had. They eventually, a group got out. The main protagonist that considered himself leader got out. It was him, his son, and a gal and an older couple were in a vehicle. They looked up and they seen the monster. They said, "Oh, that's it. We're done. We're done." So he takes a pistol out and he shoots. They agreed to commit suicide. That's why we bring this up. Don't ever do that. So they agreed to commit suicide because they don't want to be killed by the big ass fucking bug monster. So the main protagonist takes a pistol. You don't see it, but you hear 4 shots fired. Bam, bam. He shoots everybody in there and he puts it to his own mouth and he's ran out of bullets. Eric, was it 10 minutes later after he did that, the army showed up with weapons and they ran off that fucking bug monster. Well, they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh no, he did not just. He just."
Maybe the book had a different ending. I don't know.
No.
This is personally why I hate the ending because they did a whole lot in the movie to go to next door to get medication for one guy. They fought some creatures. They did this whole big battle. You know, they get in the car just for what? For one simple thing, to just kill themselves without a fight. Now,
without a fight, nothing.
If they wanted, now, if it was me making this movie, if it was me, right? If it was me, I would have all 4 of them fight, run out of the car. Then maybe fight. Well, maybe they get surrounded by the monsters, right? They get surrounded and they're going to die. Then he decides to shoot them because they're about to die. Then the army shows up and destroys it right before he's going to do it on himself. That's what I would have done. Here, they didn't even see what was coming.
That's a glorious death, man. I would have done that. I would have fought the monster.
You did all that. And then you're not going to count the bullets too? You got a gun in your hand. You got this only gun left. Dude, I'm going to open up the gun and see how many bullets I have left because all he knows could have been 2 left.
I'm going to go after the monster.
Know how to stay alive.
I would have went after the monster. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to distract the monster. I'm going to battle that motherfucker. And you guys take the car and go that way. And I'll meet you down the road if I survive. And I would have went after that monster. Why would he do? That was just so bad. And I'm like, no, you did not just shoot everybody. Oh, man. The movie has a lot to do with drama within the store and then outside the store. It does a really good job kind of describing what people would do in a horrific situation like that. I was like, man, have a little more sense. It reminds me of, like you said, Eric, a little bit of Now. I'm like, if I were in a group, they say, okay, are you part of our group? No. Are you joining? Are you part? No, I'm not part of anybody's group. I'm on my own group. I got my own thing going. I said, if a big ass dragon comes at me, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to go after that dragon. What are you guys going to do? We're going to hide out in this cave. Well, I'm going to go after the dragon. Have a good time in that cave when you don't have no rations, no nothing. But I'll bring back dragon steaks.
Let's see how much money this movie costed and made. I'm curious. It's always fun looking at that. Says here the movie costed $18 million, which, wow, I mean, $18 million. I mean, most of the time they're
18.
$18
million.
Yeah, most of the time they were in
A store.
but worldwide it did make 57 million. I mean, so it made a profit. So I'm surprised that they didn't even try to attempt to make a sequel. You know, you still did have that one guy. I mean, you could have made a sequel where he's kind of gun ho. He's so crazy. He decides to reopen the window and go through to maybe their dimension, wherever they came from.
You would do that, yeah, because he shot his own son. So he shot the old couple in the back seat, and then he shot the woman. All of this is inside of a car, so which is on its own. How come the windows didn't explode, Eric? I have no idea. But then he goes to shoot himself, but didn't do it. I'm like, what? No windows blew out of it. You just shot 4 people in a car, and there's no windows blowing out of the car.
When we saw that big monster, they kind of know what it sounds like, and they know what the spider sounds like. I mean, so when they hear all that noise, did the sounds just automatically change right off the bat? Or did like 100 zombies were coming? I mean, I would at least waited to see them up close, knowing they're about to kill you first, then do it.
Yeah, they were safe in the store. They were actually safe in the store. Now, that lady, in her defense, that crazy religious lady was like, you ain't leaving this, living. She was right about that. Now, she was wrong about the other stuff.
And I don't know if you noticed right at the end when they show the military go by, all those people in the car, the one lady who's Carol from Walking Dead, who decided to leave the store, was actually one of the survivors. They
didn't see that part.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, when they show that truck, they show that.
That's why. That makes sense because Carol, we'll call her Carol, at the beginning of the movie, everybody's locked into the store. Back to the beginning again. All the monsters are outside. It's a mist. Nobody knows what's out there 100%. Carol, we'll just call her that, says, I have a daughter or a child. She has a child. She has to go. The child is alone at the house. She has to leave. She asks all the men inside there. That's why that happened. I got it. It was okay. Yeah, it was karma. At the beginning, she says, "Can any of you men please escort me to my child to my house so I can see my child? Any man in here? Anybody escort me?" Nobody would escort her. No, every guy looked down. Nobody would go outside and help that woman out. Nobody. She was going to go out regardless if anybody's help or not. She says, anybody having a balls to help me out. And the main protagonist, like we talked about, the guy, the leader, I've got my own, he says, I got my own son to worry about, and then walks away. I thought that was cold, man, when he even said it like that. So Carol, we talked about, she went out all by herself in the mist. They didn't kill her, dude. No. So maybe they were just killing the bad people, bad karma people. Oh. Oh, it was like they opened up the gate of hell. Oh, so they were just killing the bad karma people. That's what it is, Eric. It was the gates of hell. Maybe that's what's happening now, Eric. Right now, this is what we're living in. The gates of hell have opened up. It is Halloween, and we do have a blue moon coming.
Yeah, and I think the only other thing, I mean, it's hard to try to pull anything out of this movie because it's really so simple. I think the only other thing you could pull is there was a store manager who was kind of really, he was kind of a pussy in where the baggage boy, the guy who bags the clothes actually ended up having more balls than a manager of the store, which in real life, that's how it usually is. Your managers, your upper people, they think they're tough. But when the shit hits the fan, they're fucking wimps, and it takes a grunt person to kind of like take charge because that kid was like the one who finally took the gun out, shot that crazy woman, that preacher. Like,
the baggage guy. He wasn't a baggage kid. He was a baggage man. And he was an old man. Yeah, he was a baggage man. And he just followed what everybody else said because, the manager. He's a baggage guy. He loads the bags up at the grocery store. But towards the end, he started turning into a big-ass leader. He's, little guy, old man. He started turning into, like, logic. He was thinking with his head. He wasn't stupid. Everybody else was in a panic mode.
And that manager guy was, he didn't really do nothing.
A whip. He was a whip.
They're all great managers and supervisors when everything is perfect. And I always say, a sign of a good leader is when your back is against the wall, how you handle it, and the shit hits the wall. And that movie kind of proves that they are. And like you said, these town people are like, I'm not calling town people hicks, but like you said, they were so manly and stuff that, this person, like you said, Bob, came from the outside. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's some pussy ass writer. Well, pussy ass writer, an older man who bagged food in bags.
Groceries.
Be the ones who are more strict, because even the military guys were kind of wimpies, because
they were like, fuck this.
He's gonna walk out of the store by a crazy woman with a Bible in her hand. Come on, a young stud.
She took over. It was a divide. She took the whole half of the store, so everyone's following the religious thumper about Armageddon and then hiding down and cowardly, not doing anything. And then you have the machismo dudes are like, hey, outside of the Bible prophecy shit, let's fucking figure this out. Let's survive. Nothing you can do. Yes, there's a lot we can do. So, and it's a movie, people. We're not picking on nobody religion. It's just about the movie. Our grandfather was a minister. He was a damn good leader, a good man. He had a parish. He had the whole thing. Full honors, man. 100%. Solid guy. Good leader. Then we got the peppers that are like, who are you?
Well, if you're going to be mad about the religious side, then you got to be mad at Stephen King, because he does a lot of his movies. Children of the Corn. Then this one. So he's the one that brings in that the best way to get people on your side is you do it through religion. Yeah,
Stephen King has done that. That's right. Children of the Corn. He has done a lot of those religious hit movies. A lot of religious hit movies, man. He's always got a little trace of it in there.
Well, look, Stephen King's other movie, Silver Bullet. The werewolf himself was the minister of that town, or the priest, whatever he was.
That's right.
So Stephen King loves to mix in the religion into his movies.
Yeah. He kind of nailed a lot of weird shit. It's kind of weird, man. He kind of nailed a lot of shit. It's kind of currently happening. I think.
That's what neat about the only thing you take out of these movies is they're relatable in almost every generation in a lot of ways.
It's almost have a lot of things that are happening now. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be honest. A lot of things that's happening now across the back of this fucking turtle reminds me of a movie, and that's why I call it a comic book. I'm like, I could have swore I saw this in a movie. I saw this in a movie. Watching people do weird things. I've seen this in a movie. I've seen this in a book. I've seen this in a movie. You'll watch the movies and you go, wait a minute, that in the movies happening now. It's just the same little cycle. I'm like, I'm sitting back enjoying the fucking movie. I'm not bitching. I'm not whining. I'm enjoying the movie. So I hope you guys. So Eric and I have a movie show, and now we talk about the movies and we compare them to real life. You guys can watch these movie shows and go, hey, they're right about that. Well, I just watched this movie. It's just like this.
Honestly, what else can we do? Half the things technically are still kind of shut down. There's no theaters open in King County where I live. There's no movie theaters open. So you kind of go back, you watch these older movies. But what's cool is you go back and you watch these older movies in a different point of view. You try to pin out how it matches the reality of life that you live in.
Yeah. A lot of people right now are obsessed with the AI movies. Did you see the new AI movie? Skynet's live. It's happening now. Skynet's here. It's happening now. Skynet. I'm like, okay, slow the fuck down. Of course, a lot of shit is looking like that. Doesn't mean it's going to fucking ruin your life. It just means that maybe, they've always been watching you through your camera holes. They've been warning you, been screaming that one for a long time. And now you're coming up with a fucking line about the AI algorithms. There's always been an AI algorithm. They've always been watching you through the phone. So why now everyone's whining about it? The old truthers are now going, I told you so. Now you're going to whine about it. And now they're making movies about it. So they make movies about it. And everyone's like, let's form a group and have a cult now because they're doing what we knew they were doing a long time ago. Now you know. So now you're smarter. You're smarter than the situation.
Crunchy B is right. There is a new AI show on Fox called Next.
Of course there is. There's multiple movies about the AI. There's tons of shit about the AI. The AI concept has been out since Eric. War Games. It's been coming out in the 80s.
Evil Speak, Tron, Battlestar Galactica, Terminator. Terminator was run by the AI. I mean, it's been all through generations.
The 70s, Doctor Who, which I got a cool scarf. It's my birthday scarf.
Doctor Who.
Yes. Doctor Who. I mean, it's been out since the 70s. It's been out since the 60s. It's been out since the 50s. It's been out. And so now everyone's freaking out. Now everyone's having an Armageddon talk.
AI is, you could say, Blade Runner, where robots got a soul. They're trying to search for the soul.
Yeah.
They feel like they're real. That's an AI movie. So they've been around.
Been around for a long time, and now they're just stepping it up. They're stepping it up, and everyone's going, oh, let's take a look now.
I think what happened was the AI has been there, but for a lot of people, it wasn't sexy enough until the Matrix came out. Now you had the Matrix out. Now AI is like more sexier. It's more
sexier.
You know what I mean?
It's just a new comic book, man. It's the new thing. It's the new thing. It's the newest thing. And then I give it next month. There's gonna be another new thing and another hole to jump through and another. But you know what? I don't mind. I'm enjoying it. I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying it. That's why this movie is perfect when you talk about what's outside of the story. You can say what's outside of the story, Eric, in this movie, The Mist, is the AI. And within the store, you have all the people and little groups and forming little cliques and little cliques like high school.
You could also say when they created this thing to open the door, you got to create it with machinery. I'm sure they created it on a computer. You could say that the AI created this dimension to bring those beings in to help destroy, to clean humans, kind of like the Terminator theory in a way.
Yes.
How do you fix evil? You cleanse out most of the people, because when you get a bunch of people together, that's when evil starts. So if you cleanse out most of the population, things get better.
Yeah, the movie Endgame, the first one was Xfinity War. The Avengers.
Yeah,
remember they have the Endgame and the one before that. Then they pretty much wiped out half the people with like a snap of a magical rock, and half the people fucking take off. They're gone. Like, oh, okay, okay, bye, goodbye. I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not scared of nothing. So I'll go out there. I'll be fine. And this is October anyway, my favorite month.
Well, guys, beyond that, I think we said everything we can from this movie. I mean,
that's all you do. It's a philosophy movie.
The movie, maybe the book is probably more complicated than the movie. It probably is. But I've never read the book, so the movie really wasn't that complicated. But like I said, you could pick apart some things from it that you can relate it to real life. So if you watch it through that point of view, you might actually enjoy it, where the movie is probably average and below. I don't think it's not good. It's just it helps.
But it's good if you like myself. Everything to me is anthropology. Everything is sociology. If you're not doing anything, you want to do some sociology, you can watch the movie for sociology. You can watch a movie and just see a little bit, for a learning thing.
I think a lot of Corn Music said we have to fix what's in the store before we walk out into the mist, and we can't give up because it gets most dark just before dawn. I think that was the movie's message. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to end this one with that one. Keep that up there. That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's perfect. So beyond that, we're going to tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Everybody have a good